Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Colorado Rockies. I almost called them the Chicago Rockies. I was like, wait a minute, that sounds wrong. um, Welcome back. So we basically had a terrible 3-game stretch at the end of last season that essentially destroyed our team. Losing the tiebreaker to St. Louis meant I didn't get the bye, and then we just got raffle stomped by St. Louis. Like, even this game here, right? Like 7-4, the Wild seems close. We only scored 3 of our 4 runs in the 8th inning when the game was at that point 7-1. We said goodbye to Manuel Pineda. We said no, thank you, my friend. I think I haven't officially said goodbye to him because of no, we have. Okay, great. But, and again, this is weird for a Rockies team. I feel shockingly good about our pitching. It's our hitting that I think is not where it needs to be. In particular, Ida, you need to stop sucking. Like, this is not an acceptable performance from you. Given the fact you're already 33, and the fact that you have this level of skill, you should be 2033 Ida, not 2034 Ida. This was a risk, right? The moment we took him and paid him all this money, we knew it was a risk. Because of the fact that he is already on the wrong side of 8, on the wrong side of 30, he's more likely to decline than to get better. That being said, this is absolutely an unacceptable performance from him. And hopefully next season, he's going to bounce back and be great. Charlie Condon is still productive, but he's also a bit of a shell of his former self. Past Charlie Condon is one of the most dominant players in the league. This one, not so much. We do have some young players that are at least intriguing still. Richie is now 30. We actually have a fairly old team. Probably our most important young player is Matsuzaka. Yasukawa, I'd get there eventually. Taking over at second base is going to be massive for this team. This is going to give us a real play driver, to use a hockey term, at the top of our lineup. Whether he's first or second doesn't really matter to me. He's a great defender, a fantastic hitter, and I think he's going to be really, really great. Also, if he has a good year, we could get a draft pick for him, which is going to be pretty tasty. The other consideration is what we do about Alex Rodarte. The strange thing is his one selling point is power, and it's not showing up yet. It's really not showing up yet. And that is the difference between being okay and being possibly amazing. So I think he's definitely going to... He's not going to come to the... He might come in spring training. But 100% he's not going to stay in the majors. Unless a lot of injuries happen at the exact wrong time. But getting Rodarte will also be quite nice. Also be a nice thing. But yeah, we are a surprisingly old team in terms of our raw offensive potential. Just that so many of our players are 30-ish. Canarello's 31. Yeah. So a fully operational Yasukawa is 100% what we need. But I would love to pick up another great young hitter. We're also really weak at DH, so there is a path where Rodarte... Actually, we're not that bad off. Todd May had a perfectly acceptable season, it just wasn't anything special. Yeah, like, he was fine, but that could be a path for Rodarte to get playing time. Is if he does get that extra gear of power, then we're in great shape. Alright. That's kind of where we're at. I would love to get a starting pitcher because I'm not keeping Ozuna. Ozuna wanted like $15 million, I want to say. Oh, the problem is we don't have any money. Okay. We will address that momentarily. But also, I think Ozuna's time has just come at this point. We've gotten some pretty decent years out of him. But I have enough interesting young pitchers in my system that I'd rather give one of them an opportunity than continue to, like, hold him hostage, so to speak. Um, we'll worry about the 40-man here in a minute. But I'm already flagging the fact that we desperately need to keep Crawford and especially Cooper. Cooper's ability to play center field is very valuable to me. He's also got a really nice skill set. And outfield has been something we've been particularly great at the past couple of seasons. So there's definitely a path for Cooper to not only be good in the future, but to play right now. Carlos Martinez was fine, I guess. Nothing too spicy, but pretty good. But yeah, the outfield is definitely a weak spot. So getting another contributor like Cooper is pretty important to me. So we're gonna go ahead now, and we're gonna go to personnel. We're gonna get some coaches. Alright, do you have anyone that wants to be the new hitting coach at High A? Matt Ortiz, get in there right now. So you need a pitching coach and hitting coach for the Rookie League. That's fine. Clark Egan, literally the perfect hitting coach. For a Rookie League team, that's precisely what you're looking for. Great mechanics, awesome teacher. He's just perfect. Now, he might cost you a pretty penny. If that's the case, that's the case. But I am going to take... Chris LaRocca. Normally, I would value somebody that had a little bit more in development, but the mechanics is great. He's a good teacher, and he is also good in development. Although, there is Frank Graham, who's arguably better because he's that much better at mechanics. Yeah, we'll take Graham. There we go. Those decisions are made. Arbitration time. No. Player development time. No, arbitration time first. I want to make sure there's anyone here that we need to find a new home for. Pineda is gone. Like, that's not even a consideration. Pineda was really bad last year. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Gary Cruz is a flawless pitcher, but I think for the low price of $1.4 million, I'm very willing to keep him around. Easy pick. Eric Riddick is a really interesting pitcher. I don't want to invest too heavily in my bullpen, but he's been really, really good. Rest of you guys can... I guess we could keep Dulahanty and Guillermo here. Those are both acceptable players. Dan Morales, too. So this is the interesting problem that we have here. These are some really expensive players. And they're expensive for a good reason, right? Like, they've been top-tier performers. Eric Riddick, in particular, is awesome. And I love having a really good bullpen. But Riddick also wants $9 million. He wants more than double his current salary. Can we soak the loss of Riddick effectively? Probably. Especially if we end up giving Dave Crawford meaningful reps, I think we should be able to soak it relatively easily. It's also a chance to add some really dynamic players, but it also hurts us in the short term. Like there's no sugarcoating it. Losing Riddick makes us a worse team. How much is Begin making again? Yeah, Begin's contract is going to get pretty spicy here before too long. But he's also one of the best. I almost think we stick to our strength and keep this bullpen together as much as possible, even if it does get a little bit pricey, because it's our one competitive advantage right now, is that we have this incredibly strong and deep bullpen. So I think keeping Riddick makes sense. Even if it is incredibly expensive, I think it has to happen. I think it's the right choice. So that's what we're going to do. You should take 9 million maybe. That's too little. You're like, fuck you. Alright. Fine. Pablo Torres only wants 5 million. This is a loss I can do with a little bit more. I think I've got enough young horses that I can trade Torres here. Maybe try to add on an interesting rookie. Or just non-tender him. Tom Ramey already looks like a pretty solid choice. Yeah, this is completely fine. He's also borderline a starter, but this is the kind of player that I'd like to take. So we're going to go ahead and take Mr. Remy here. It's going to save us money. That's a good thing. As backup catchers go, Jaden Fauske is completely fine. But there's also a team that has a lot of catching talent in it. And the guy like a Bobby Vega has a lot of the same qualities as Fauske. Fauske is a captain, so that does cause a bit of a leadership void. Especially because I'm also going to trade Santiago Leon, so I think that's fine. I think Fauske has given us incredibly good service, but I don't think we want him anymore. And I think we just non-tender him. I don't hate Santiago Leon. I think we actually keep him now that I think about it. If he's my starting second baseman at this point in his career, I have concerns. If he is my highly talented reserve, then I'm very happy. Robbie Brewer has some utility in his game too, but he had a pretty rough intro to the major leagues, so I think keeping Leon makes sense. So the question is it time to say goodbye to Emerson? That's the real question here. It's between Leon and Emerson. The difference is that Emerson is a very, very capable shortstop. Like, he's very good. There is a future coming probably in the next 2 to 3 years where Tovar starts losing his grip at shortstop and then Emerson can slide in. But in every other way, Leon is a better player. Leon is a much more accomplished hitter. He's an excellent second baseman and third baseman, and he can play shortstop well enough. I think we just have to cut bait on Emerson because I'm not going to pay two utility guys $3 million. That just seems foolish to me. It seems like a foolish use of our limited resources to devote that much money to having utility players. So this is Emerson's. Emerson is gone. I am not paying him $3 million. I refuse. Not because I don't think he's a perfectly fine player, but because he just doesn't fit the club anymore. I don't really want another reliever, to be honest with you. Bernal isn't terribly thrilling to me. Vasquez isn't terribly interesting to me. Matt Potter is fine. Edgar Castillo is probably the call here. I can see if I can get 2 players out of this. That would make me pretty happy, but we're not getting good value. We're not. I probably kept Emerson all longer than I ought to have. Ryan Morgan would actually be pretty tasty pickup. Wow, okay, you're like, Ryan Morgan is the greatest ever. Fuck you. Alright. I don't dislike Matt Potter. I think Matt Potter's got some skill on him. He's not perfect, but I think he's okay. Can I get one more player? Just one. How about Mike Adams? I have to make a decision right now, so I think let's make him think about it, and then we have Fermin to deal with too. Fermin is a credible center fielder, which changes my calculus for him. He's a credible center fielder. Probably better than anyone else on the roster, and for that, I think we keep him. If he had this exact same stat line and he could only play the corners, I would be a lot more reticent to give him more money. But as someone that can handle shortstop, particularly with or center field, excuse me, particularly with center fielder right now that's actually aging, I think it's important to keep him around. Can we do 4 million? Is that no? Wow, this guy's a dick. He's like, give me exactly what I want and not a penny less. Fine, jerk. But I call him a dick. I would do the exact same thing if I had the opportunity. And you all probably would too. Like, don't lie to yourselves. You would do it. Oh. Oh, thanks. I don't like voting for awards. I deliberately am just simming one day ahead. Come on, game. There you go. I will do this. Yeah, I will do it. Okay. Rodarte, I need you to work on your power. It is essential that you start tapping into your power. It is probably the single most important thing in your development. Yasukawa, I would like you to work on your gap power. I think that's what's going to take you from a good player to a great one. Plus, your nickname is Bald Eagle, which is incredible. Matt Mittman, hit that plate discipline. I can't train Dave Crawford. Dave Crawford, you'll notice here, he can't do anything because he's injured. But I would love to train him up a bit. Danny Gonzalez, work on your plate discipline, please. John Kaiser desperately needs to work on his control. Bobby Rivera also can't work out, which is a real bummer because I'd love to improve him. Danny Roque, can you work on your control, please? Troy McCormick definitely needs to work on his control 100%. Enrique Ruiz is already working on it, isn't he? Oh, no, he's not. Okay. I want to check the Major League roster real fast to make sure there's nobody here that needs work. Fernando Romero definitely does. His control is okay. He's giving up too many home runs. You need to work on your movement. Alright. That's fine. Now we can simulate a singular day. Clark Egan someone's offered you more money. I will give you more money. Kate Anderson has played in the major leagues, therefore this deal is meaningless to me. Kevin Payne is okay. Miguel Padilla is okay, but I think... Byers sucks. Byers is not a great pitcher. I will happily take this deal. Can I get one more player? Can I get greedy? Probably not. No, I'll just take this deal. I will miss Grady Emerson. He was my emotional support prospect, but he deserves a chance to start. And I think whether it's Seattle or whoever else, if they play him as shortstop, I think they're going to get a pretty solid player out of it. That isn't to excuse the fact that this guy's literally picked 1 overall. This was a bust. This was a mistake. I'm not going to say he hasn't been useful, and I'm not even going to sit there and tell you that I regret making the pick, but I do regret how he's turned out. If you remember, if we go back a ways, he used to have all the hitting potential in the world. Like, the Grady Emerson that I drafted was absolutely worth the first overall pick. And he just never capitalized on his offensive skills. He just never figured it out. Which is a real bummer. Like, maximum power Grady Emerson is an MVP candidate. But he never achieved it. So... blinding speed is a bit much. He's reasonably fast. We call it blinding speed. So thus ends the saga of the very first overall draft pick we ever made. Egan and Graham are both signed. Amazing. And Egan signed too. Brilliant. Oh, damn, Mitch Voigt was so good. He won MVP and he won pitcher. Good for you, bro. Good for you. This looks to be a very boring episode because I don't have any money. Yeah. Yep. Nope, he's a major leaguer. Can't do it. Eric Riddick won reliever of the year. Nice. No Gold Gloves surprises me a tiny bit, but maybe not that much. Alright. 40-man. We gotta keep Cooper. We gotta keep Crawford. Then I'll have a think as we get closer to the Rule 5 deadline. I'll also need to see who's free agent worthy. I have $50 million. That's good to know. Alright, let's eliminate the obvious first. I cannot afford Hyun Suk Kim, and I don't know what I'd do with him even if I could. I'm not paying $18 million to a reliever. So those two guys are right out. Offer you all minor league contracts. I mean, I would add you just as some things in the minors, but yeah, this is not an entirely exciting deal. I'm also blocking my own minor leaguers when I keep signing people like this. This is something else I need to be considering as we go forward. But I think I feel reasonably good about this right now. I think this is all we're going to do in free agency. Sorry, I know it's boring. It's the price of doing business with this particular save. What, do you want, like, actual money? Fine. Nope. I do actually want to have a quick chat with Sandy Ozuna. Now that I think about it. Because maybe if Ozuna will sign for, like, a fairly small sum, I will probably consider it. Where is the Sandinator? Here he is. Yeah, this makes sense to me. This is a smart decision, so I think we'll make it. It gives us a veteran fifth starter so that I can either have him be the long man out of the bullpen, or I can use him in some other capacity. And since the only team he ever played for is me, this is a legal decision for us. Ozuna might actually be better as a reliever. We'll see if he signs, though. If he doesn't sign, then he doesn't sign, and we just live on with our lives, but I like Casey Stewart just fine, but he's played for the majors, so we have to politely decline. It's not that I don't trust my young pitchers, it's that I think my young pitchers all need probably another season before they're ready for prime time. So Zuna as an inexpensive stopgap makes a lot of sense to me. All right, Mookie Betts 100%. I think in the world of people like Shohei Ohtani, we tend to, I think, overlook a guy like Mookie Betts, who's played several positions extremely well, while also being a very talented hitter. I think sometimes he's even overshadowed by the guys on his own team, but I think he is most definitely a special player, without any hyperbole or any hesitation. I mean, his nickname is Gaussy. It sounds like his nickname is Gassy, which I relate to. Respect. Frankie, McCutcheon, Jose Ramirez, all of you are going to get some votes from me. Yelich, sure. Stanton, probably Seager. Nah, I'll vote for Zach Wheeler. It's Seager's first year on the ballot. I want to see if we can... Oh, shit, hang on. Sorry, Stanton. Aaron Judge is on the roster. He needs to be voted in. Submit. One thing I've noticed about OOTP 26 compared to other versions, it seems that the aging curve is a lot harsher than it has been in previous years. I'm not saying that's wrong or right, I'm just saying it's something that I've noticed. Like, 30-plus-year-old players have typically not had great things, okay? You want a major league contract, you're not going to get one. If one was an option, I'm willing to do that. But I'm not going to guarantee you anything. Nope. It is a bad deal because he's played in the major leagues game. Like, you know my deal by now. I can't get mad at the game. The game doesn't actually know my deal by now. Is there anybody that we desperately need to hold on to? This is fun. I just want to switch to my scouting director, so I have the person that I trust. Okay. I have two 40-man spots open. Paul Smud is somebody that I probably... no, I don't. I'm going to trade you right now. I'm going to see if anybody is interested in you and your inability to throw strikes ever. Probably not. Okay. If somebody takes Smud, they're welcome to him. I am not doing it. Mario Marquez is the first baseman. David Leedsman, again, he can't throw strikes. Bob Long can't throw strikes. I mean, this is something I deliberately did, right? I deliberately chose players that had poor control, hoped that they would figure it out. They just haven't. Jim Pizzulo as a reliever has some interest for me. Not a lot, but some. I think Pizzulo is worth adding to the 40-man. I think the rest of you guys can go fuck yourselves. Javier Gonzalez is decent, but I want to save a spot for Ozuna, and I most definitely want to save a spot for a possible Rule 5. A lot of people are struggling a bit. Okay. Just send him to the minors. Like, what were you waiting for? I mean, I don't... This is the literal definition of thinking inside the box. You could not be more inside the box. That's not possible. Javier Estrada, I think we can say so long to and open up that spot on the 40-man for an intriguing Rule 5 guy. I genuinely don't even know what I'd want. I genuinely am not even sure what I'd be looking for in the Rule 5. So we'll see who's still around. I see very little value. I can't have you anyway, because you played in the majors. I don't need to keep adding on infielders, right? Like, there is a maximum level of infielder that one team can achieve, and I think we're past that point. Atkinson is fine, but not exceptional. Albert has played in the major leagues. Hey, you know what? Let's do this. This will save us some time here. Jared Taylor isn't useless, but I've already got some outfielders I'm wanting to get some playing time to, so I don't think he's a good fit right to this second. Same with Atlee. Greg Bonilla is a really good defensive catcher, but again, it's a position I've already got people at. Troy Guthrie is fine, but he's nothing special. Yeah. Weren't you in my system for a while, Mr. McGonagall? Your name sounds familiar to me. Yeah, I just don't think there's anybody here that interests me. I guess I could check for potential instead. Yeah, Wade Lunt. Jose Zaldivar. Let's grab Wade Lunt. I think he's an interesting enough pitcher that I want... actually, let's look at Ron Kilroy. Sadly, no. He's going to get eaten alive in Colorado. I was very tempted, though. If I had room, I would very strongly consider Miguel Ortega here as someone that could fill in as a DH, potentially. Let's grab Mr. Lunt and call it good. I don't want anything else from the Rule 5 this year. I don't have any room anyway. Alright. Let's go to international free agent signing. Play the majors, Mr. Pork. Sorry, pal. You're dead to me. We can just put you there. Interesting. I'm surprised the fans are a bit bummed out about losing Jaden Fauske, but he ended up on the Astros, it looks like. He's not a bad player. I just have enough players that are cheaper and younger that I don't really care. You know, it just doesn't really affect me. If this season is going to be a special one, it's going to come down to Ida. If Ida isn't his very best and we can't find a good replacement, then I think... I mean, making the postseason, it's not like a given, but I think it's highly likely, almost regardless of what happens this season. Dahigo is somebody that I think in the right situation could end up being a pretty productive player, and he already has been, so yeah. Betts, Jose Ramirez, Aaron Judge, and Bryce Harper all made it in. Nice. I think Stanton and Bogarts in real life have a real chance to make the Hall of Fame. Stan's got the gaudy counting numbers. Bogarts has been a pretty great player for two different teams in the Red Sox and the Padres, but it also wouldn't shock me if neither one of them made it, so yeah. I keep remembering that Giancarlo Stanton is actually Mike Stanton. Because there was the hilarious thing coming up like, oh, he's like Mike Stanton, the pitcher that pitched for the Yankees. The Miami Marlins are not called the Miami Mammoths. Sure. We all know well how many woolly mammoths lived in Florida during the recent ice ages. All over the place. Couldn't walk down the street without running into one of them. I saw, so the Avalanche are my hockey team. Colorado Avalanche. I was watching the recent game against the Mammoth, and they lost in overtime, which is whatever, but I was struck by how good the uniforms looked for the Mammoth. I have great hopes for them. Mm-mm. not going to tell you that Mr. Arzola here is not a good player, because he is. He's got potential to be pretty solid. But his skill set is so bizarre that I don't know that I'd trust him. He basically wants to be a leadoff hitter, but he doesn't have very much speed or defense, so he's pretty much, I can get on base and then hope for the best. I want somebody a bit more well-rounded than that if I'm going to take the plunge on him. Bertano's an okay second baseman. He's got the potential for a really high average and drive a lot of doubles and draw enough walks that he shouldn't strike out a ton. So there's interest in Mr. Britado here, for sure. Edwin Moreno is probably the most balanced hitter in this international free agent class, but he can't play third base at all. This is a first baseman at best. I don't know how I feel about that. Quintero is decent, but again, nothing spectacular. Batista just stinks. Like, okay, Batista's nice the fact that he can play second base credibly, but that's all he's really got to show for himself. If I just sort by potential, this is going to be faster, probably. Extreme Risk is right. He's got every possibility to be a top player, but this is very much a lottery ticket. And he's also not a very good outfielder. Britado is solid. Alex Diaz is really, really good. Like, really, really good. I think it's him. There's nothing about him that isn't good. Plus, there's this. He's only a medium development risk. I think he's a home run hit. I know he doesn't hit, but this is the guy I'm going with. Oh my god. I mean, it's true. I don't promote people enough. Alright, if you're 18, you get promoted. That's the rules. I probably need to do some culling from the minor leagues so that we can open up spots for people. That seems like a smart idea. All of you, get in the minor leagues. Now let's go back and get our friend Mr. Diaz. I will hand you $5,370,000. All right. Let's take a quick moment to do some calling of the minor leagues. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at default. And we're going to sort by lowest overall. Here, let's make a custom filter. If you have an overall of less than or equal to 25 and potential of less than or equal to 25, then I want to see you so I can tell you to leave. But what happened there? That's not accurate. Oh, I hit greater than or equal to. Derp. Interesting. I probably need to increase this to maybe 30 to actually get, like, the real losers. Here we go. Interesting. That's actually less people than I thought, and they're all, like, at the lowest levels besides Yanez here. Maybe leave him alone. Interesting. Honus Wagner's dog's name was Jason Weatherby. Honestly, I respect it. Both my guinea pigs have people names. One of my guinea pigs is named Mo. One of them is named Rodney. So and they're great. Excellent. Diaz has signed with us as well. He should. Poor Nick Garza slipped on an oil slick. I mean, that could happen. That's legit. I'm not really a car person, but I respect people that are. That's just a talent I've never developed. I've played like 200 hours in Car Mechanic Simulator, which I don't think is quite the same thing. I think most of you are probably like, the fuck is wrong with you, Abby? And I would say, you know what? That's a fair statement. That's fair. Salas, sure. I think John Kaiser can get a spring training invite. I think Jason Bryan can. I think Rodolfo Rivera can. Joel Ware, sure. Oh, Miguel Ortega. I guess we can give him a shot in spring training to get a little bit of time in. This might be all I want. No, that's not true. We could have like Demers and Lantigua and Javier Gonzalez and Marquez and Samula. Guys that are like 40 overall definitely deserve a look in spring training. 100%. But everyone else can just kind of hang out. Kurt Norton is going up to A-ball before I forget. Jorge Yanez is going anywhere else. All right. Pitching staff, we're going to run out 6 men. How do we solve Pineda? What? Huh? This is the bug that happened before. Like, people that are being non-tendered aren't leaving the team and they're still getting paid. This is not accurate. We're gonna tell Mr. Pineda to leave. I wonder where that's happened now. That's happened in this series and I think the White Sox series too. Where people that were non-tendered still got a contract. Alright. Your salary is... You're on a minor league contract now. There you go. Yeah, that's always bugged me. I don't know why that's happened, I think now 2 seasons in a row. Where somebody's like, oh yes, you non-tendered me, but I still magically have a contract. I definitely want to flag Pineda, actually, as a former Rocky. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn Commissioner mode off. If you, by the way, know why that happens, if it's some obscure baseball rule that I don't even know about, then please share in the comments. But I'm 99% sure that's a falsehood. That you don't just automatically get to stay for whatever money you want. Oh, this is about what I expected for the rotation, so this is fine. I'm not going to take the pitch count off of Santa Cruz yet. I think he's close. I think he's very, very close to having that particular shackle taken off of him. But I think for the moment, wait, since when could Emmanuel Lantigua pitch? He pitches very poorly. I see. Oh, I had him in the White Sox series too, didn't I? Remember being my utility guy for 2 or 3 seasons. Nice. Oh, Rodarte, that is not as big. What? Oh, maybe that hasn't kicked in yet. I'm very excited by that, by the way. That might be enough to get Rodarte a shot on this Major League roster. Oh, I didn't set the lineup. Shit. Shit. Do all the things immediately. Leon is not playing second base. Yasukawa is. Each and every day, without exception. Well, you want Leon to play regularly. I don't have a problem with that, but this is Yasukawa's job to lose this year. Leona's going to miss a couple of weeks. Rivera's already out. Oh, no, he's injured again. Bobby Rivera is probably never playing in the major leagues. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but quite literally, this is the second serious injury he's had in 5 years. Like, he literally can't stay healthy. So, there is definitely a world in which he departs in the near future. It said Rodarte's power had improved by 10, but it looks like it only improved by 5. So you lied to me, game. But that's okay. It's not going to take a lot for him to be considered Major League ready. He's definitely not far from that. Leadsman stuff getting better is fun and all, but if he can't throw strikes, then he just isn't that valuable to me. Oh no, Yasukawa is getting slower, but he's getting better playing shortstop, so I will happily take that. We're not going to play up to opening day because we want to be able to send people down without getting them service time, so we want to stop on the 19th. Alright, we did it, guys. Okay. Franklin Diaz is going to be out for 5 months. Why do I care about Franklin Diaz? Are you a former Rocky? You are a former Rocky. Cool. Alright, so we got 50 players, of whom 24 are pitchers. We got to get rid of 11 pitchers. This is probably going to be fairly easy. Munoz, you're done. I will try to keep Anderson if the opportunity presents itself. Cash into the minors, Crawford to the minors, Kaiser to the minors, Pizzulo to the minors, Rivera to the minors. Lunt just lost a ton of potential. So I think we just send him home. Wagner to the minors, Romero to the minors. Oh, I'd have to get him through my waivers. Okay. Brian definitely goes to the minors. Olsen definitely goes to the minors. And out of 14 picks, I've only got to get rid of one more. And Lantigua sucks, so I think we just send him down and call it good. Alright, so Danny Roque makes the opening day roster, which I'm perfectly content with. I think that's a reasonable decision. You're going to be the emergency starter. Nice. I don't like openers. I've got a good enough rotation that I don't need openers. Fernando Romero, this is your chance to really shine this year. You worked on your movement in spring training. Let's see if you can carry that through. Pitching staff is set. No, nothing to worry about here. 39 position players. No, that's not true. I have 26, so we've got to get rid of 13. We just got to get down to 26. You knew that already. Happy. Ullery to the minors. Demers, Samula to the minors, Marquez to the minors, Ortega to the minors. I have a comically massive number of catchers. I don't need this many catchers. Is it Dane Salas? Does Dane Salas become our backup catcher? Or is it Vega? I think Vega can return to AAA, and I think we can let Dane Salas be our backup catcher. So you go, and you go. Alright, outfielders. Because Arnoldo, for me, can handle center field fairly competently. I mean, so can Kelly Hunter, though. I think Travis Cooper needs another year in AAA. That's how I feel about that. 6 outfielders is still too many. It's still way too many. I think we try to get Hunter through waivers again. It's not a guarantee, but I think it's likely to work. Alright, I have too many infielders. One more year in the minors certainly won't hurt, right? I think maybe that's reasonable take. The Rodarte can go to the minors, and I gotta get one more infielder. Oh, I'm carrying Fontenot for some reason. Yeah, I don't want Fontenot. You can go to the minors too. There you go. Alright. No working position players other than Dan Salas, but that's fine. Let's set this lineup the way that I want it set up. Batting Rattings. I think Cannarella is still our best fit as leadoff guy, but I wouldn't mind hitting him lower because he wasn't as good last year as he has been in the past. So I think... Alright, Ida is probably the number 3 hitter, and Condon is the cleanup hitter. Let's start with that. Let's start there. Tovar definitely hits no lower than 5th. So the question becomes, do you do Yasukawa and then Cannarella, or do you do Cannarella and then Yasukawa? I don't think it matters a ton. If I compare you both as hitters, what am I looking at here? Cannarella's the better hitter right now. So I think that's what we do. I think we do Cannarella, then Yasukawa. I think that's the right choice. I then think it's either Milam or Richie hits. I think we're going to do Richie 6th and then Milam 7th. I need a right fielder and a DH. Carlos Martinez is a good left fielder, but he's not a great one. May can play right, so I think we do May and then Martinez. That's not true. We do Fermin. All right. And then let's generate a new depth chart. Leon is playing every game he's capable of playing. That's just how it works. If you want to swap in May fairly regularly, that works for me. I don't mind that at all. Was my plan actually to bench? Was my plan to let Grady Emerson play third base every day last year? It might have been. I don't feel the real need to fuck around here. This is highly acceptable to me. I know Tom Match had a pretty okay season for us last year, but we're going to be a better team with Carlos Martinez because he's just so well-rounded that I want him to play meaningful at-bats. And he also did not disappoint in his opening season. So, yeah. I think we've got enough youth in the lineup that I feel a little bit better about it. Yasukawa is nice and young. Martinez is nice and young. Fermin is still fairly young. Milam is exactly 30. We still need even more youth. I am concerned about Tovar. Actually, let's send Tovar lower in the lineup. He might even hit 9th just because he doesn't have any skill other than hitting for power. And I don't want him in a clutch situation at this point in his career. He's still useful, don't get me wrong. And it hasn't been that long since he had a great season. But I don't want him playing... Tovar can actually hit higher against lefties, that's true. He is better against lefties, significantly better. We still need more youth in the lineup. I think Rodarte is going to be coming soon. We still have Mittman ready for a bigger role potentially, but I feel pretty good so far. Let's do some minor league maintenance now. I have a comically huge number of catchers in AAA. We don't need that many catchers. I'm going to send the 2 of you down to AA. Teamers, Ware, Ortega, Ullery. We've got to get rid of some guys here. Matt Kester, I think, is just cooked. I think he's had his chance to be a great player, and it just never worked out for him, which sucks, but I still have too damn many catchers. How many catchers are in AA? 2. I'm going to send Danny Gonzalez to A-ball, I think. Oh, I guess he can't go to A-ball? Alright. I feel like Corey Fontenot just needs to go at this point. I think we maybe just release him and pay his minor league minimum salary. Because I definitely need more outfielders, and maybe this is fine. Maybe I don't need to worry about it. I think Oscar Vasquez and Rodolfo Rivera can both find new teams, better teams, maybe. Maybe. Matt Mittman had an outstanding year in High A. Welcome to Double A. Bob Long, you are overdue for Double A. Ruben Garcia gets to move up, and I think so does Joe Ward, and I think we call it good there. I still have 4 catchers. 4 catchers in AAA, which is funny, but okay. Alright. Who goes up to A-ball? We're going to have to cut a bunch of people anyway, so we might want to consider that too. Eric Pickett can go up to High A. He's more than ready for that particular move. We think Cordy Gainon should be promoted. Okay, fine. I don't mind that. Oscar Crespo, we can promote to A-ball. That's fine with me. I think Phil Harbor and Troy McCormick can be promoted as well, and I think that's good for now. Oh, Mario Lopez needs to be promoted? Okay, fine. I'm going to release Colin Greedy because he's so greedy. Well, I guess we'd have High A too, don't we? Yeah, that's the thing. Corey Kestner, get up into High A, please. Tony Sarmiento can be promoted, I suppose. So can E. Fernandez. Alright. We need to turn over more of this roster. This roster is still too old. We're relying very heavily on players that are 30 and over. And that is dangerous. People are like, holy fuck, it's Kenley Hunter. Give me that. So, you know what, buddy? I hope you do well. I never hated you. It was just the fact that I have Canarella, who does everything you do and does it better. So, yeah. Are we still in the top 5 or 10 marks? We're top 4. Nice. Nice. So, pretty similar to last year's lineup, in all honesty, besides Yasukawa starting the year with the Major League team. I expect there'll be more changes as the season progresses, but this is where we're at. Pitching staff is last year's rotation, almost to the person, except Barry Keller now is going to be pitching much more frequently. You know what? This probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but Willie Alvarez, you get more attention than Barry Keller. We bring back Ozuna for what is almost certainly his final season with us. And the bullpen is also quite similar to last year, with the addition of Danny Roquette. And I think that's fine. I think Yasukawa is going to have a big impact on this team. And remember, he's still fairly raw. If he gets to the level we think he's going to get to, he's going to be excellent. He's going to be a high-performing defender that gets on base and drives doubles. His home run power is not going to be the best, but that's not what he's here for. But it comes down to Ida. We are a very old veteran team at this point, and we definitely want more fresh blood in the system. Brodarte is part of that movement. A guy like a Travis Cooper needs to be played. Carlos Martinez has every possibility to lock down an outfield spot for a couple, 3 seasons. But we're still a very old team. If we do by age, we have 3 starters under 30. Fermin, Yasukawa, and Martinez. If we want to get really generous, we can say that 2 more are at 30. But that's where we are. Tovar probably needs to be replaced. Not this year, but maybe next year. I mean, I hope he does keep producing at a high level. I think Tovar has every possibility to make the Hall of Fame. If he has 2 more great years, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but he averages 4 WAR a season. That'll put him at, what is that, 58? No, 56? That's pretty good. That's a career that you have to take notice of. He should get to 2,000 hits in the next couple seasons, so maybe. We need more from Cannarella. We need Cannarella to be an on-base machine that steals lots of bases and plays great defense. But it comes down to Ida. Ida was paid to be a big offensive contributor. We cannot have a repeat of last year. If this is all he's giving us, then we made a huge mistake in bringing him on. Very huge. I just see Condon kick it up a notch too, but last year was fine. 3 wins for what's basically $30 million is just on this side of that's an acceptable amount. But I would love to see him have another great season here. That would be very useful for us to be a great team. The next question for us is who replaces Condon? And while I think we do have candidates, I think Rodarte would be a fine first baseman. I think Mittman has maybe even more upside than Rodarte, but he's also quite far away from the major leagues, so I think options exist. We just have to give them time to make themselves true options. But I wish we had a little bit more high-level talent in the mid-minors. And I think we've gone too pitching happy. I think it's not like let's break this down for a second because I think this is a relevant point to take into the next episode. Only Rockies. If we look at our top 10 prospects, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess 6 of them are hitters. Interesting. Okay. I don't think Danny Gonzalez is ready to play in the major leagues yet, but I think he's close. We think Alex Diaz can play this year. I think that's silly. I don't think that's right. Maybe we're not as bad off as I thought. Although Ruben Garcia being my 10th pick prospect is kind of funny to me. Interesting. You really think Danny Gonzalez probably could play right now. I'd like for him to improve his offense, but I think there's a definite world in which he has meaningful at-bats in the near to distant future. Big contract-wise, Riddick is going to want all of the money. Riddick is probably going after this season. That's just how it is. $14 million for what's essentially a setup guy is too much money for me. Santa Cruz is going to get awfully expensive awfully fast. I think we're probably going to have to pay him sooner rather than later. We'll see, though. I need a 3rd season from him. If I see that he has a great 3rd season, I think we open up the checkbook and give him a nice long deal. I think that's going to happen here. I want to see Danny Gonzalez make strides this year in AAA. If he does, I think there's a possible world where in 2037 we decline Milam's option. Salas is just here for this year, to be clear. If he has a great year as a backup, maybe you can do 2 years, but I want Danny Gonzalez in the major leagues. I just don't want him in the major leagues right now. Not when he's struggled to hit in the minors. He's also only 22. So there's absolutely no reason to rush him, but a fully operational Danny Gonzalez is amazing. He's really good. Like, he's going to hit 25 to 30 home runs a year and play incredible defense. Which is pretty exciting. Yeah. How did sound Milam as a free agent? Oh, that's when he is signed through. Yeah, let's say I drafted this dude. But yeah, Danny Gonzalez is really good. And I want him to keep working so that he is ready for meaningful at-bats. Rodarte is the other young gun. I need to see the power get better. Right now, he's a competent hitter. He's competent, but he's not exceptional. To be exceptional, we got to see that slugging percentage go up. If he achieves that, then Rodarte is probably on the roster next year. Maybe even this year if injuries or stuff happens. But we want to get enough turnover that we feel good about our future as a club. Colin Ritchie's in real danger of being replaced. Maybe next year. It makes me wish I had kept Emerson because I don't think Rodarte can play third, but maybe he could. Maybe he wouldn't be the worst at third base for a season or two. I don't know. Either way, the future does look reasonably bright, but it's certainly not a guarantee. For this season, it's all about Ida. If Ida has a great season, I think we do very well. If he has a very bad season, then I think that forces us to move pieces around. Yeah. But that's a problem for next episode. I hope you have enjoyed this one. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you think the Rockies should do. And until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.